Now, think about the human rights legacy that Ronald Reagan ushered in and what it has come to in our age. Think about Natan Sharansky, who in his memoirs wrote about how much it meant to him and other Soviet dissidents who were in prison when Ronald Reagan spoke of the USSR as the evil empire. Remember tapping on the walls of the prison to other prisoners. He said they tapped those words to each other because it gave them hope. Your word, Mr. President, because somebody finally cared about them. Our president, who used to be a community organizer and said he spoke on behalf of the downtrodden, has turned a cold shoulder and a blind eye to the dissidents of Iran. Our president, who speaks reverentially of Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr. What about Netta, Mr. President? Don't forget Netta. Why isn't this your cause, President Obama? It is the opposite of what someone who cares about human rights would do, your policy. It was the opposite of what Ronald Reagan did with Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union. One final word, and I will be done before my time is up. America, despite the naysayers, is not in decline. Do not fall for that label. We have been through worse times. The bloodiest day in American history is still Antietam. And a few months after that, Ronald Reagan, well, pretty much the same thing. Abraham Lincoln, a 100 years later, Abraham Lincoln said to the Congress, "We shall nobly save or meanly lose this last best hope of earth." Well, we didn't lose it then, and we won't lose it now. I would remind the President that his biggest applause line in the State of the Union was when he said, "America will not be second in anything." Some speechwriter finally figured that out. But let me also say that to fight decline, we should neither shirk our responsibilities or bow. When the United States bows, figuratively or literally, to foreign leaders, I understand why our enemies think we can be pushed around. The United States President should not bow to anyone. The President doesn't want to take a lesson from a Republican, he can take one from a Democrat. Franklin Delano Roosevelt at Hyde Park, the King and Queen of England visited him. He was told not to touch the king. Commoners are not allowed to touch the king, and to offer him only tea. FDR disregarded it, as I write in my book, slapped the king on the knee and said, "How about a martini?" One thing I very much agreed with him on. America doesn't bow, ladies and gentlemen. It stands up straight and it leads. We are not told by others what to do. We say what needs doing, and then we usually go do it. Whatever people say about the decline of the United States, just remember this. If you are in some poor, immiserated, God-forsaken, and there are no God-forsaken, but feeling like God-forsaken place in the world, and you see a group of men coming over a hill carrying a flag and a uniform, you get on your knees and you pray that it is the flag of the United States of America. Andrew Breitbart was talking about the New York Times inadvertently hitting the truth. Washington Post hits it more often. Hit it last week. Quoted a man named Jean-Louis Gaffard, He lives in Haiti under a tarp. I did a long interview with him. I said, what's the solution? He said, the solution here is like it is anywhere. The United States should just take us over. Not a policy I recommend, but it proves my point. Let me close. In 1865, Abraham Lincoln visited liberated Richmond. When he got there, a group of slaves saw him. On seeing Lincoln, they knelt in front of him. And this is what he said to them. Do not kneel to me. You kneel only to God and thank him for your freedom. Liberty is your birthright. God gave it to you as he gave it to others. And it is a sin that you have been deprived of it so many years. Get up. Conservatives, free men and women everywhere, get up. Do not bow or kneel to any other man. Get up, stay up. Do not capitulate, do not appease. Bow only to God. Stand tall for this country. Stand tall and strong for your children. Defend her and her allies, as only we, only you and I, and our soldiers and our leaders can. Thank you very much.